Underneath the 99 Bigfoot Motorhome with the Squatch. Talk a little bit about water. I don't know all there is to know about it yet because I've never really used the water in a motorhome. But anyway, here we have the freshwater tank. I think it's somewhere around 30 gallons. There's a 12 volt DC pump there, some valving, some plumbing for drains. Anyway, as far as I know, one of these RVs, you fill the tank, and when you open up the tap, call for water, the pressure drops and the pump kicks on. That's about all there is to that. This does not have a pressure tank in it as far as I know. I like the idea of putting a pressure tank in to keep the pump from short cycling too much and keep some more consistent pressure. Here in this compartment, the Onan generator there, which I have ran about 2 hours, ran the AC system with it. It's kind of loud, but hey, it's there when you need it. Helps to recharge the batteries, and you know, cook something in the microwave and do it as inefficiently as possible. So here, buried back there is a little bit of the freshwater tank, the white back there, and then the sewage and the gray are kind of further to the right back there. I really don't have any good access to them, but that's going to change. Here's the dump for everything here, the sewage dump and gray water discharge. The goofy little shower head here, which could be useful, who knows. As I said before about the heat, we have some ducts there that discharge. The auxiliary heat has a black duct and then the silver duct there. So I don't know how much air gets forced through there and how well this weather stripping works, but something I want to investigate. So here is the outside of the water heater. Drain plug's out right now. It's open. Everything's winterized. I don't even know what the heat exchanger really looks like. Curious to find out and curious to clean it, but in due time. There's no 110. I really know. I don't think there's a 110 feature. This is all propane. 6.2 gallon capacity. 8,800 BTU per hour. Yeah. So it's small. But what do you expect? Just got to learn to use less water, which is kind of what all this is about. It's forcing yourself to use less water, to waste less hot water that you work so hard to get ready and put it down the drain, then dump it into the sewer. It makes no sense at all to me. So the actual water heater tank we have here, kind of wrapped in polystyrene. These two black hoses here run off the radiator, circulate some heat whenever the engine's running. I don't know what, I guess it's some kind of a polyethylene tubing. The pink color is the winterizer. Nothing is insulated, but they're short runs. It's 1/2-inch lines, which shouldn't surprise me. I mean, 1/2-inch water lines in a home are kind of standard, if not 3/4. But for some reason, I just imagined in this thing there'd be tiny little 3/8 lines. But you know, with that little pump, you really can't. You can't have little lines like that. It'd be so hard on the pump, and you wouldn't get any pressure to the taps. So there's, I think it's an inlet. I presume these two water lines probably run under the floor here and into the bathroom. Now we have a shower down there, and then sink. Yeah, you've seen water lines before. So, you know, one thing I do like about this coach is the fact that the water heater is right up here on the other side of the sink. So you have really short runs to the sink, less waste, better pressure, and there's only 3 sources of water inside the coach. You know, the kitchen sink, the bathroom sink, and the shower. So things are kept simple, fairly close together. Now, when it comes to trying to conserve propane or water heat in general, one of the things I'd like to do, and the best place to start, is to, for one, get a good temperature of water heat that'll work for you. I don't even think this thing actually has a thermostat. I think it just pumps out whatever standard temperature, 125 degrees, 130 degrees, whatever it happens to be. Haven't looked into it yet. But one of the other ways is to first conserve water. Don't leave the sink on whenever you're washing your face. Turn the water off, turn it off. Turn the water on, turn it off. Turn the water on, turn it off. It can be inconvenient. One of the things that I actually would like to do, that I haven't seen much, is foot pedals. Press the foot pedal down, wash your hands, let it off, while you're brushing your teeth, whatever. Push foot pedal down, rinse off your toothbrush, etc., etc., etc. Makes sense to me. Don't know why I don't see them more often, but seems to me like it would save a heck of a lot of water. And you wouldn't be making a mess of your sink all the time too. But hey, that's just me, in time. So like I said before, I'd like to change some of these fixtures and stuff out for something a little bit neater and nicer, and maybe something with a little spray hose. I don't know. Showers, who knows what kind of pressure we're going to get out of that. But I do like the idea of having the hose. The thing's pretty ugly and chintzy and cheap, but we might find it effective for a long time. Something else that I've seen other people talk about is taking a Navy shower or a sailor shower. Where you wet yourself, then you turn the water off, you lather yourself up real well, turn the water back on, and rinse yourself off. I've tried it a few times. It can be kind of cold. It's not as nice as taking a nice long hot shower. But I think you get used to it after a while. And if you're dry docking away from utilities and away from a regular water supply, I think it's a necessity to do so. Same thing with foot pedals with this sink here. I have to find some and see how I can make it work that they're not going to be in the way. You're not going to trip over them, stub your toe and stuff. But I think it's a good idea. Toilet, uses a little bit of water, I believe. Don't know how much. Don't know really anything about it yet. But anyway, as far as other ways to retain some heat, there might be a solar thermal water heater. Some kind of a evacuated tube setup that even preheats the water going into the water heater, so it doesn't have to kick on so often, or it shortens the recovery time. It's a 6-gallon water heater. If you had a little bit warmer water running into it, I don't see why that wouldn't shorten the recovery time, and you could take a decent shower if you want to. Other ways to possibly preheat the water is a dehumidifier. Here in Portland, well, first of all, in an RV, moisture is a huge issue. You got 2 people or more occupying this small space, the humidity builds up. You take a hot shower, you got to turn the vent on. Everybody says you got to turn the vent fan on, get that humidity out of there. Any of these spaces, drawers, places you don't get in very often, get in there, check your clothes once in a while if you haven't been in there in a while, because you might find there's moisture. You might find there's condensation, there's mold, it's just something terrible. People put the absorbent salt crystals, Dry Z Air, or whatever these different products are called, back in corners just to slowly absorb any excess moisture. Other things, a mechanical dehumidifier can be effective. I'm sure in this very small space I ran one for a few days and it was bone dry in here. But they consume a lot of electricity. They're almost always 110 AC. Anyway, as far as actually, again, recovering some of that heat energy, I like the idea of a dehumidifier that's actually built into the wall somehow. Maybe built into this vent up here, that whenever you take a shower, just like you turn the fan on, you would turn on the system that would cool evaporator fins and condense all that very warm, very moist air, condense that water out, and then use that heat energy to preheat the water that's going to the water heater. You know, it involves running some extra water lines. You know, no doubt some pressure drops involved with that. You know, maybe a preheat tank. I don't know how long it would run. Maybe you'd just kind of turn on a fan timer, just kind of like you would with a bathroom fan. Let it run for 15 minutes when you're taking a shower. You know, I wonder if how effective it might be. You know, that's some quality energy that you're producing there, and I don't see why you couldn't use that rather than just dump it into the environment. The other thing is, if I can get access to it, you know, the drain of both the shower and the kitchen sink, it would be great to put a heat exchanger down there, and again to circulate water that's heading to the water heater to preheat it. Anytime you're doing some dishes, you're using some hot water, it's dumping down the drain. You know, you might as well try to recover as much of that heat as you possibly can. No sense in just wasting it. But you know, it's a small space. It's difficult to come up with stuff like that. I've even considered, you know, putting in a heat exchanger in the gray water tank. Even a heat pump system that would actually pump heat out of the gray water tank. But you know, again, now you're talking about 110 AC compressors and a good bit of energy. I mean, you know, I don't know where do you draw the line, but anyway, one of the best places to start will be to put a water meter, a small digital water meter, in line after the main pump, and probably in line to the feed to the water heater, to get a gauge on both total water consumption and hot water consumption, and keep track of all that information, and possibly even some temperatures if I can make that happen. You know, I need some data to figure out, you know, what I'm using first, and what kind of methods work, and how well do they work. Not just, oh, I think they work, or oh, I've spent all this money on this gizmo or this gadget, I know it works. No, I need to know that it actually works. I need some kind of data. So, yeah, that's water for now. That's enough rambling. Thank you.